Live post-game streets are buzzing. CT, EJ here to chop up this loss.
And please support the channel. We really thank and appreciate all that you guys do for us. So my brother CT, thank you so much for having me on, man. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
it's
Peace.
all love, brother. Let's get it tomorrow. Peace. Have a great night. Salute. EJ in the house, ready to still continue to chop this thing up after this loss, man. The chat's buzzing. Want to continue to get everyone's thoughts out here on this situation, yeah, because it's kind of deja vu where we're at, fan. It feels kind of like 2 years ago, before Brunson came in here. Now, these games are tough on the road, nothing's promised. And I love the effort Josh Hart gave tonight, but the inefficiencies with our Barrett and Randall offensively, just not enough to hang with the Clippers, you know, and especially the energy change when Hart came in. Right, this game was going south quicker than the Titanic before Josh Hart came in because he really changed the tempo. And I feel the stat sheet again was 3 of 6, hit all 4 free throws, got us 8 rebounds, 3 offensive, gave us 4 assists, and was just -1 and 10 points. So I mean, you can't ask for any more than Josh Hart, just giving us all heart and hustle and effort and energy. His only shortcoming is his size. I mean, man, if Josh Hart was 6'7", he'd be in RJ's spot right now. He'd be the starting wing most likely, but still an amazing pickup. He's going to help us win a couple playoff games the way he's going. And Emmanuel Quickley put up some points tonight. Wasn't that efficient, but had a better game overall than Randall and Barrett. But he played 42 minutes, so it was good to see Quick hit some shots, given the last 2 games he's had. But really, we need more help, and that's the issue. Not enough guys really stepping up when you need them. When Brunson's down, you need guys stepping up. Quentin Grimes, the chat made a couple great points tonight about Tibbs not running enough plays for Quentin Grimes. On a night without Brunson, Grimes gets 8 shots. You'd like to see him, your starting wing, get more shots than that. On a night where, Brunson's not playing in 34 minutes, just 8 shots. I know he went 0-4 from deep, but he was 3 of 8. That's better than the other guys, and 7 points. So he needs to get into a rhythm with that situation. But like JJ mentioned in the chat, a couple results went the Knicks' way tonight, which was fantastic. The Heat lost. The Magic messing up their tank pulled that big one out against the Heat. And we had the Atlanta Hawks also go down to the Boston Celtics. And looky here, the Houston Rockets are up against the Chicago Bulls by 1 point with 6 minutes to go. So yeah, great results went the Knicks' way. So we didn't lose any gain from the teams behind us, but of course the Brooklyn Nets by default, the Seattle Arkansas Nets move into the 5th spot temporarily. They play tomorrow. But man, how much does this Laker game? How important is that now for this team to stop this skid? Can you imagine the buzz if the Knicks lose four in a row? Now, all it takes is maybe Jalen Brunson to be out for another week or two, and it will feel like the sky is falling in Knicks verse. But with that said, yeah, if we can pull off a big win against the LeBron-less Lakers, that's going to be big. But guys got to have a short-term memory. They've got to step up tomorrow and shoot more efficient. Otherwise, it's just going to be another L. Buzzer says, I've said it a million times. We can only go as far as RJ takes us. There's definitely a big role on him, man. And when Brunson's out, yeah, he absolutely has to step up. And he didn't tonight. And we're still in the game because of Hart's effort, energy. We won the fast break points, but we had no chance. Yeah, if Barrett and Randall are inefficient, our chances are very, very low to win this one. Key says 2 teams that might blow it up in the summer. That's Chicago and Toronto. Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree with that. Looks like they're trying to retool. Chicago made a lot of follies, getting in Vucevic, Zach LaVine's bloated contract. Really, I mean, the writing was on the wall. They kind of topped out, when they made that all-in situation. Pudge forever, salute. I don't trust Tibbs coaching in the playoffs yet. Tibbs' ability to make adjustments, I agree with you on that. Um, Tibbs has definitely laid out a plan for the players to follow, but it's predictable. It's easy to game plan against in a 7-game series. Tibbs's coaching is definitely for the regular season. The extra effort, the hustle and energy, usually that 10% extra that Tom Thibodeau can get out of a team will help them overachieve. But in the playoffs, everyone's rested. In the playoffs, everyone's game planning. In the playoffs, everyone's fired up. It means a lot more. And that's usually where, you're going to have to earn your keep. 100% agree. Whether it's the Cavs, the Philly, whoever else we play um, in the first round, because I still think we're going to make the playoffs. Even if we finish 6th, I think the Knicks would have to absolutely collapse to not get in the playoffs. But yeah, it's certainly going to be a test for everybody, man. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Do you guys think there's a world where Tibbs may not be brought back in the playoffs? It's possible next season. Yeah, JJ says Grimes should be getting more looks, man. He's more than a spot up 3. Yeah, he's definitely shown it. Yeah, 100% agree. I referenced Mikal Bridges. Most people just pegged him as a 3-and-D dude. He's putting up 45 on a team. That lets you know if Grimes had similar usage, he could definitely give you a couple 30-point games. You could dribble, he could drive. Size-wise, he's obviously lacking at 6'5", but his mid-range is better. The 3-point shooting will come with more reps. And that's also a point I'll make now. A lot of dudes' inconsistencies are based on the fact that they don't know when their shots are going to come. Grimes might get a couple threes, and then he might go 12 minutes, and then he doesn't get another shot. So it's tough for these guys, with a read and react offense. Randall, yeah, this is all of us. Randall adds more grey hairs to all of us, man, especially the frustrations. I'm kind of a little bit surprised because Randall usually plays well on the road out west. That's the big thing. Sabonis got the better of him the other night, and tonight, yeah, he didn't show up. He usually plays well against the Lakers, so I'm watching. Now, I don't want to jinx him, but yeah, Randall usually has a great game against LA, the Lakers, and he needs to bounce back tomorrow, right? If Randall comes out on fire tomorrow, that we're going to need that in order to beat a Laker team with more depth, no doubt about it. They've got D'Lo, they've got extra bodies in Vanderbilt, and they've topped up. Even without LeBron, it's going to be tough, man. The Knicks definitely need a short-term memory. I don't get mad at the losses because we're not contenders anyways, so I can't take this season seriously. I will start taking it seriously once we get better pieces to contend, says Keith. Yeah, I feel like we're closer than you might think. But like you said, yeah, pieces definitely got to fit better, I feel. Um, maybe one more year of development in Grimes in the off season. He steps up to maybe be the third option if RJ's not here. But definitely Grimes' output should improve. Again, 8 shots. This is a guy we're going to have to pay soon as well. Mitchell Robinson, 8 shots tonight. Obi playing 13 minutes off the bench, got 9 shots. So that tells you all it is, man, the imbalance on this situation. Grimes playing 34 with 8 shots, and Obi playing 13 minutes with 9 shots. That's That can't happen, man. Your starting wing needs more shots. Um, yeah, the Silicon Valley Bank mess, man. That's crazy out there, man. Um, which realistic wing do I think that we can take us to another level that could be available in the off season? To be honest, I don't even think it needs to be a star. Um, really, a guy who's more consistent, JJ. Now, athletic, I think athleticism would be good. We know when we're getting up and down, the Knicks have a great chance to win. I'm trying to get out of this slow plodding half court offense. Brunson can definitely push the pace better. Maybe a guy like Kelly Oubre, although he is inconsistent. Maybe a guy like OG Anunoby is all we need to be able to contend if other guys can take a step up. I really think OG Anunoby could be a guy they target. That's definitely realistic. Um, Outside of that, I mentioned EJ Brandon Ingram, but that's probably more a year or two away, fam, to consider that a situation. But yeah, we need a guy with size and we need a bit more athleticism. Yeah, because we can be scary defensively if we lock down that other wing next to Grimes, and if Mitch is back, then that makes up more than makes up for Randall and Brunson's lack of effort sometimes on the defensive side. And then you've got Quickley and Josh Hart still come in. Uh, yeah, you guys let me know. I'd love to know who do you think, who would you like to bring in, and whether or not they're gettable or not, because this thing may not happen overnight. It may not happen next summer. It might be the year after that. But I feel you. We definitely are getting older. 27, 28. You know, we might blink, and this sort of window. Other teams come up. In the blink of an eye. We saw the Magic beat the Heat. Oklahoma City Thunder are coming up. You'd have to think Memphis are going to get their time soon in the West, and the Sacramento Kings look nice. Ronaldo says to me, to get better in the future, Tibbs can't be our coach. He's not taken us far in the playoffs. Who would you like to see us bring in? And two, I feel you on that situation. Tibbs is not the best guy to adapt in the playoffs. He probably realistically is the guy to set the table. And I think Leon might give him a crack or a year or two with a better roster, but then more than likely his time's going to come up, I feel. D says Cam Johnson or Oubre. Yep. I think those guys add something different to what RJ provides so far. A bit more consistent shooting. With that said, RJ can definitely improve with a big summer. Like, it's not like Randall hasn't improved. We were ready to ship Randall out and he bounced back. So either way, if Barrett's here, he has to bounce back big in a big way, or he's probably out of here. At least not if in the summer in the trade deadline next season, right? Because yeah, Leon Rose ain't messing around. He's this team's on the right track. They've kind of overachieved, in many people's eyes, but we're not going to be patient for too long. As we get closer to getting further in the playoffs and being relevant, the longer we're relevant, the the quicker a guy is going to end up choosing New York, like Brian Windhorst, keeps talking about. You don't need to come to New York and be the savior anymore because we got help. Now we have a bit of depth. We have, you know, exponential draft picks, which isn't going to leave this team bare bones when we make that big splash. We have surplus pieces when you talk about, tradable expiring salary like Fournier and Rose. We have young players like Obi and RJ if we need. Um, if we're bringing in a starting center, Mitchell Robinson could still be involved in talks in that next step if it's Joel Embiid. So yeah, I really feel like the Knicks can put together a great package to kind of satisfy a team's needs, whichever it is, whether it's young players and picks and all of that. I think we can. Uh, yeah, I think OG Anunoby is still a realistic target for us to go after in this summer. But let's see, because Toronto do look like they're floundering. D says knowing the Knicks, it will be Mikal Bridges. Great fit, but I don't see the Brooklyn Nets and the Knicks ever doing a trade. I just don't see that. Just don't see that at all. Yeah, look, with RJ's fit in the timeline, I really feel like this front office is evaluating heavily right now. You see them in the stands, all sitting next to each other in a line with Perry, William Wesley, Brock Aller, Leon, and everyone sitting there keenly evaluating. And like I've been saying, fam, RJ's finish to this season is going to be huge. They're watching, especially in the playoffs too. Um, it's opportunities like tonight and last night, where the other night where Brunson's out. You know, you got to look for the guys to step up. And like I said to EJ tonight, the Josh Hart acquisition just kind of lets you know that if RJ Barrett was fulfilling all of those qualities that we need, would they have made the Josh Hart trade? You know, that's a legit question to ask, I think. Um, Quickley's great for what he's doing. He has limitations with his size, but he's our guard off the bench with Josh Hart now for the future. Yep. And it's amazing, like Manshold says, without Brunson to take away extra attention, the defense can key in on Randall. Like, that's a fact. I'm not blaming everything on Randall tonight, but the fact is, with no Brunson and with RJ not playing well, the defense can do whatever they like. They can literally say Randall is not beating us tonight. And who else is going to step up? Nobody. There literally is nobody else to overcome, the scoring burden. Why do you think we lost to an average Atlanta Hawks 2 years ago, which I think were very beatable? But all they had to do was just key in on Randall, get the ball out of his hands. It's a very simple scheme. Will says one guy that comes to mind that might be able to handle the Randall is Emi Udoka. Man, that'd be some tough love, but I don't know if this front office is game enough to shake that up with a guy like him. Um, but yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. I still don't know who would be Tibbs' replacement if and when we, let Tibbs go or he left. Could Johnny Bryant still step up, or most likely is it going to be a big name? Mavs lost too. Keeps bringing the good news to JJ. Yep, the Mavs lost to the Grizzlies. That was a big game. I don't think Luka played. So what does that do for the New York Knicks draft pick? I'm going to load the mock draft right now and find out where we're at. So yeah, the Knicks pick with Dallas is in the 18th spot. So we could be looking at a wing, or we could be looking at a trade, maybe for OG. We could use this pick in this nice draft. That's another sexy asset for a team that we might be trying to pry a wing from with that situation. Certainly don't want someone like Gordon Hayward, somebody too old. We want athleticism. We want speed. We want size, athleticism. I think to complement Randall and Brunson. The piece has got to complement. That's the thing, right? You have your 2 and your 3 option, or your 1 and your 2 option right now. Who else is going to come in that's going to complement them and help their skill sets right now? I think RJ Barrett's skill set ain't complementing them right now either. Now, the front office may have other plans. Maybe Barrett has an amazing offseason, like I said, and they feel like they can work it out somehow, with a different piece. But I can't see it right now. I just can't. Hector Salute says Jason Kidd could be an option. Does he get let go by Dallas? That could happen. I think there's definitely some concern in Dallas in terms of what they could do. But do they want to upset Luka? Do they really want to shake things up that much? Let's see. But yeah, Jason Kidd can definitely see the game, X's and O's. He can make quality adjustments. I don't know if he's the right fit with this situation. I could see him and Randall butting heads, to be honest. We need a guy who can handle personalities as well. If the Celtics fizzle in the first round or second round, I'd bet Udoka winds up back in the chair over there. Yeah, I agree, Will. That could be something to look out for. Yep. They haven't quite been the same with Joe Mazzulla. He's done an admirable job, but I think they're missing something. Yep. They're missing that chemistry from 2 years ago. Manchild wanted the refs to eject Randall. Oh, man. That's crazy. For his maybe for a rest for his own good. But yeah, he was definitely on it tonight. He was frustrated, and again, like I said, you would get frustrated as well. It's how you handle it. But when the defense is king in on you like that, it's crazy, and nobody else can step up. It's going to frustrate the hell out of you, to be honest. Especially when you can't hit the backside of a barn, and you shoot 5 of 24 and 3 of 10, and you've got the crazy claw up in your grill, and PG13 hitting shots down the other end, right? I think he was frustrated with the refs, and maybe he was frustrated with his teammates as well. And I agree with Manshot 100%. The refs were horrible tonight, terrible. Uh, they were letting so much physical play go that I feel these players, because how do you adjust from night to night? It's just ridiculous. Sometimes you scratch a player with your fingernail, and it's a foul. Sometimes you can cop an elbow to the throat, and it's no foul. So it's like they need to get all these refs in one session, one classroom, one meeting, one Zoom, whatever it is, and just get every ref on the same page. You know, we say this is how we call it, right? Don't worry about the type of player. Don't worry about the situation in the game. If this happens, you must call it the same way. Every single game, it's something different. And it's ridiculous. It's tough for these players to adjust. You know. Paul's in the house salute. Crazy Randall action is unacceptable. Yeah, I kind of give him a pass for tonight. Me personally, like I said, when they're game planning you, it's that situation where you're gonna start to see some of that ugly side. Randall's not a playmaker, nor should we rely on him to be. Um, what he does got to do though, 100% is keep his emotions in check. Not go over the top, not cross that line. And I'm looking for someone else to step up too with leadership, right? It's one thing to miss Jalen Brunson's play, one thing to miss Jalen Brunson's scoring, but we miss his leadership on the court. When he's not there, someone got to get in Randall's grill. Someone got to get in Barrett's face. Is it Josh Hart? Does Emmanuel Quickley? Is it time for him to step up and start being a talkative kind of guy? You know, we know Tom Thibodeau message doesn't always get through, right? Does Derrick Rose need to do something crazy and cuss a dude out? Because we can't just miss Randall and all ish goes to all ish hits the fan. These guys have been in this season long enough now. The season's like 70 games down, and we've been through the grind already. These guys should be more settled, I think, especially on the road. But tonight it was just too much to overcome as the Knicks went down 95 to 106. We're chopping up this road trip and the road ahead now as we hit LA. We hit the Lakers, hopefully, pull out a big win there. But then we have the Blazers, and then we have some off days. We have like 3 off days, and hopefully Jalen Brunson will be back by then, because boy, we're going to need him soon, right? Tonight we caught a break with the results with the Heat losing, and we caught a break with the other teams losing. I think it was the Hawks as well. The Mavs lost, but we can't sustain this for too much longer. So we heard some positive news that it seems to be day to day with Brunson. It seems that it's bruising, soreness, but structurally, X-rays were negative. That's what you want to hear. So it's just a case of rest with Jalen Brunson now. Stay off that foot. Keep him out for like a week. Hopefully it heals fully and there's nothing lingering. But we definitely need to pull out a win or two on this road trip, and that'll calm things down a bit. A big statement win against LA would be amazing. A statement win against Portland would be key. In the Cam Reddish return, uh, the Knicks return against Cam Reddish and Josh Hart, that situation's going to be chippy. Best believe that, man. Cam Reddish has already given quotes to the Daily News about his time, man. I can only imagine when they talk to him in the locker room, that situation is going to be crazy. And then back at MSG against the Nuggets and Minnesota, and then the Heat, which is going to be a huge swing. I really feel like that the next two Heat games could be what decides the fifth spot. Again, not not really trying to count out Brooklyn. I just don't think like Brooklyn can stick in that fifth spot. I think it's going to be between the Knicks and the Heat. What do you guys think? Queen's Place is in the chat. Salute. Manchol says Brunson makes Randall look good. I think a lot of Randall's shot making and his own effort definitely helped his stock this year. But yeah, it's how he behaves when the chips are down is going to be huge. Yeah. Once this year and fans forget how many he won. Yeah. Yeah, we need everyone to win. Yeah, agree, Nick Yak. Um, yeah, Manchild hit also, yeah, on the 3-day break after this road trip. Yeah, that's huge. Finally, we get a little bit of a break. The schedule's not been kind to us this season, man. It's been insane. If we keeping it a buck, the Clippers had something like 2 or 3 days off before tonight. We definitely gave it our best chance, but again, we were just lacking extra productivity, you know. And I'm going to call it defensively that effort during that earlier run with Deuce McBride in the rotation and that um, it's missing. Deuce played tonight 6 minutes, but when he was playing extra minutes earlier before Josh Hart came in, that defense we're playing was tough right now, and I think it's a product of us just being tired. Um, it's very late in the season. Let's not underrate that. We're like 70 games down, just about. And I think these players are ready for the season to be done with already with Tom Thibodeau's kind of coaching style, and the shortened rotation. You know, we definitely need to give some of these guys a bigger look. Obi played great tonight, 13 minutes, 4 of 9. Uh, he's spraying that 3 ball, but it was off tonight as well. So, yeah, again, we need extra shooting. Salute Eddie, what's good? Feeling bad for anyone who jumped off the window. Nick's low floor return with a vengeance. Yeah, man. It's not quite at that point for me yet, but it's not looking promising given these last 2 games. Teams that we normally would give a better effort, play better against. Um, but yeah, specifically the way we close games out to falling short in the fourth. Again, 21 points in the fourth tonight to LA's 30. But we just can't close it out, man. Yeah. Yeah. Queen says whatever the mental zone Randall was in, he needs to get back there 100%. Yeah. He needs to visit the Zen master or something, get back into that situation where he's just fully calm. I think the referees are doing that to him. I think he's feeling he's not getting that same call, and there was a lot of bad calls tonight, some filthy calls. he was hacked as well. We just don't get it called the same way. He sees Kawhi, Paul George get a specific kind of whistle, and Randall's not getting the same thing. But yeah, look, Deuce ain't going to solve any problems either. Um, he was giving good effort, defensively like he does, but scoring wise, again, we're missing that extra punch. Um, but yeah, I'm not all the way down on the last two games. We definitely fought against Sacramento. Tonight was trending like it was going to come down the stretch, but the Clippers just punched us in the mouth early, and we had no answer. Defensively, we lapsed. Offensively, we just couldn't put the ball in the cup. Tonight, Grimes again only playing shooting 3 of 8 in 34 minutes. Tonight like tonight, that Grimes needs to step up and uh and get more shots in the offense. Quickly's 42 minutes. He was probably super gassed as well. Do I think Brunson's back tomorrow? No, I think he's going to be out too, fam. A salute. I think he's going to be out until until that we return back to New York after the West Coast trip. So he's going to miss probably the Lakers and the Portland game. I don't think there's a chance they should risk that. Um, and truth is, even if we lose both, the Knicks could still be in fifth or sixth still. As crazy as that sounds, right? If Brooklyn lose their next few, even if the Knicks lose their next few, they'll be tied for fifth still. So, the Heat losing tonight was big. That really went the Knicks' way tonight. So salute Orlando Magic. I like what they're doing there on the come up. Messed up their tank tonight, but they got it done. But the Heat are starting to get weary. They're starting to get old. This is definitely a game where the Heat should have won. On Jimmy Bucket's 38 points on 39 minutes was not enough to lift the Heat over the Magic because Kevin Love only gave 4 points. Adebayo only gave 14 points. Vincent 13, Hero 14, Lowry 12. So not enough. They don't have enough productivity to the Heat to even beat the Magic tonight. Now the Brooklyn Nets. Is anybody worried about the Nets? I'm not. You guys let me know. Do you guys think that the Brooklyn Nets are still a chance to steal fifth or sixth from the Knicks or Heat? I don't see that happening, but they've definitely got some solid young wings. But realistically, the Heat should pick things up and steal that spot. And I think the Knicks will still get that fifth spot. I really do. There's some very, very winnable games after this West Coast trip. And hopefully, if you expect Jalen Brunson to be completely fine, completely healthy, the New York Knicks are a problem again. Jalen Brunson changes his team completely. Everybody can fall back into their next role, which is less attention on the defensive end, more open shots. He gets the defense to collapse. You guys already know what Jalen Brunson does. He's by far this team's MVP, and I think there's no doubt about it now. Having seen him out for these 3 games now, it's without a doubt he's this team's MVP. The man's put up 19 points in the first half against the Kings the other night. Um, yeah, Nick Yak says we closed it out all year. Yeah, he had to slump at some time after this trip. We start over. Brunson gets an extra 5 days rest. Yep, yeah, 100%. Man, be smart about that. And once we get Brunson back fully rested, then we can get back on that express train and close out the season strong. So what are we at now? We at 39 and 30, right? So I'm going to give you my CT's predictions now. I still feel like the Knicks are going to get about seven more wins, 7, 8 more wins. I think we can scratch out 7 or 8 more wins. We can finish 46 or 47. And I think that's going to be enough to get fifth. And even if we get sixth, I'm not too worried either because that's probably a matchup with Philly. Yeah, so the Celtics have a 2-game lead on Philly in second. I really think like Philly's probably going to stay in third. So even if we get sixth, I like a Philly Knicks matchup. I think we can hang with them. I mean, a Boston matchup would be nice given what's been happening, but they would definitely be super fired up to make amends. But yeah, Philly or Cleveland, give us all the smoke. With a healthy Brunson. What do you guys think? Do you think we can win 5, 6, 7 more games, get to 45, 46, 47 wins? There's a lot of winnable dubs to come up. So I'll go through the schedule right now. There's a chat is buzzing, smashing that like button. And we got the Lakers and Portland, right? So I think we can win one of those two. I really think we're not going to leave this West Coast trip without a dub. I think they're gonna fight tooth and nail to get us one dub. So I'm gonna say it probably comes against Portland. Yep. Maybe we win both. That'd be amazing. But I'm gonna say we at least win one out of the next two. Then I'm gonna say we beat Minnesota at MSG. So that's two. That's 2 wins. Then the first of the last 2 matchups against the Heat. That's on the road. I'm going to say we probably win that as well. Yeah, I'm not fearing the Heat. So that's 3. Then after the Heat, we play the Magic. I think that's another win. So that's 4 wins. Then we play the Rockets. 5 wins. Then we play the Heat again at MSG. Right? For argument's sake, I'll say we lose that one because the Heat come back. Then we play the Cavs on the road. I'm going to say we maybe lose that one. Then we play the Wizards at MSG. I'm going to say we win that one. That's 6. Then we play the Pacers. 7. Then we got the Pelicans and the Pacers, and then that's it. So 7, 6, 7, 8 more wins, definitely. So don't stress fam too much. I'm obviously most worrying about Brunson's injury because that's the key thing in this situation. But with the likes of the T-Wolves, the Magic to come, Rockets game, don't forget these guys are going to be getting their tank on as well. 2 against the Pacers to finish it out. The Pelicans is winnable. The Wizards game's winnable. And then the 2 against the Heat. So I'm not really worried about not getting in 6th. It's going to be 5th or 6th, I think. But certainly we could still get 4th if we win a couple of these road trips. It's going to be big. So yeah, Buzzer says let's get at least 6 more wins to get to 45. Yeah, I think that's going to happen. I really do. I think even without Brunson, we could definitely claw 4, 5, 6 wins by default. I think. Yeah, Queen says also looking good on 45, 46. Yep. Yep. Yeah, the Denver game I put as a loss. Although it's at MSG, so man, great point. I think we got a good chance, but Denver, I'll say that one's an L. Yep. Yeah, salute Buzzer, salute chat, Knicks diehards, appreciate you all. Man, it's been an up and down season, but the best is yet to come. We all live for the playoffs. Let's be real. Chopping up this 82, I can only imagine how the players feel. It's a grind. I mean, we ain't even the ones getting on a plane every other day. Leaving your family behind and stuff. We get to stay where we're at and chop it up and watch the games. But yeah, truth is, this 82 season, it's a grind. You can't wait till it's finished, and then the real playoffs action can begin. That's where players make a name. That's where stars are born, and stars are made also. like Jalen Brunson became a star in the playoffs last season. If you're paying attention with the Dallas Mavs, he was rocking out in Luka's absence. Um, so yeah, I feel like yeah, we pull out one of the next two, which has got to stop this skid, and then I think we can beat Minnesota. Hopefully, maybe we beat Denver. Let's see. The two Heat games are critical, but I think we're good for 6 to 8 more wins. Um, let's pray for full health, man. Let's pray for full health and get at it, because yeah, Jalen Brunson, man, is just changes this team completely. Defensively, I mean, we're that good. He's the reason we're close to being a contender. If I'm being real, like insert Jalen Brunson into tonight's game. As good as the Clippers are, as built for a championship as they are, I think with Jalen Brunson tonight, we definitely have every chance to win this game. We're that good offensively. Julius Randle gets easier looks, less attention. Barrett falls into that third option. Even he has less pressure as well. So Jalen Brunson is fully deserving for me to get MVP votes this season. If we're keeping it a buck, you know, if the Knicks win 47 games, Jalen Brunson will have a legit MVP case. You know, he's probably not going to finish in the top 5, but he'll get some votes. I think Jalen Brunson could definitely get some votes in MVP, and he's definitely this team's MVP. There's no doubt about it. So we've been chopping it up for a minute now. I mean, is he the best free agent pickup in Knicks history? In terms of what Kevin Garnett was saying to Paul Pierce on the Showtime podcast, he was saying that yeah, Brunson's been, you know, I think Paul Pierce or Garnett was saying he's had the biggest impact as a free agent signing since KD went to the Warriors in terms of changing the landscape, of this thing, and actually catapulting a franchise from being a fringe a play-in team to being now, potential 4th seed. Let that sink in. Of course, there's been a lot of help this season. Randall's had a great season for the most part, fully deserving of his All-Star situation. You know, you take the good and the bad with Randall. He's had 2 All-Star years out of 4. So, as a Knick, you sign up for that because we haven't had a 2-time All-Star since Melo. But in the playoffs, you got to keep his cool. Quickley, we've witnessed a great, amazing step-up season from Quickley, where he's growing into being a starting quality player in this league. We've witnessed a second sophomore year for Quentin Grimes now, where he's still inconsistent, but you see flashes of what a starting quality wing, an elite role player in the league one day. You see that from Quentin Grimes stepping up as well. And then you complement that with Josh Hart's ability to do it all, from rebound, assisting, scoring, all of that. The New York Knicks have good depth with a healthy Brunson, and then you make a big splash. You try to get a Joel Embiid. You try to get an OG Anunoby, someone else that's going to complement everybody. And then you hope, you knock out Philadelphia. That's one contender that's no longer in front of you no more. Then you've just got Milwaukee and you've got Celtics standing in front of you. That's it. So realistically, the Knicks could be entering an era of potential contention if Leon Rose can pull off the right strings, press the right buttons, and we really could be looking at an Eastern Conference contention window now, because now that the Nets are out of the way, the Cavs can be a threat, but I don't, see them standing in the Knicks' way. I really think if Philly lose Embiid, you got the Bucks and you got the Celtics. The Heat are on the way down. The Hawks are on the way down. The Raptors are retooling. Then you got the Wizards, the Pacers, the Bulls, the Magic. They're years away. I think as well. So, well, Raptors, it depends on what the Raptors could do, and how quickly they could retool with Pascal and Scotty. But but yeah, man, realistically, the Nets are no longer a contender now. The Cavs are still coming up, but the Knicks, if they're one move away from being on that level as the Celtics and the Bucks, so this could be fun. This could be fun for the next 4 years, 5 years. Um, but it's going to come down to what kind of moves we can make. The right moves. It's got to be the right contracts. Um, yeah, Buzzer says who do we want to match up with best for the playoffs? I think, look, in the playoffs you got to earn everything, Buzzer. But personally, I would love the Cleveland matchup first. I would prefer to avoid Philly if I could. I feel good about a Philly matchup, but I prefer the Cleveland Cavs. There's no doubt about that. I think every game against the Cavs this year, from the first one that we blew a big lead, and then the other one that we beat them as well. We beat them early in the season. I think we match up really well. I don't think they're a great defensive team at the guard spot. I think Brunson can light Spider up. He could light Garland up. Um, I don't think they have the guard to lock Brunson down, and I think that's going to be huge. I think the bigs are going to obviously have a big input. Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley, but Mobley's still young. How he performs in the playoffs is going to be interesting. I think Jarrett Allen's nice, but he's still kind of one dimensional. So it's a great matchup. It really is. It's a great matchup for the New York Knicks. I think the Cleveland Cavs. Whether it's a 4-5 with the Knicks in the fourth, or a 5-4 with the Knicks in five, I think the Knicks have what it takes to pull that one out in 6 or 7. I don't think it's going to be 5. I think it'll be 6 or 7. But yeah, you tell me. Who do you want to see? Yeah, I like this too. Yeah, Brunson MIP, 100%. Yep. If you're looking at it, Queen's chat, Brunson had like 3 30-point games in his whole career before he became a Knick. Now he's had 16 30-point games this season alone. So talk about most improved. Talk about a player that's changed this thing. He's getting accolades from all the haters. I mean, who would have thought Richard Jefferson, Charles Barkley, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, JJ Redick? I mean, they're coming out the woodwork. All these dudes giving Brunson accolades now because, I mean, you could just no longer deny whether you like the Knicks or not. We're becoming a likable team. For some of these dudes to watch. Underdogs. We we really are the quintessential underdogs with this situation. Um, Manchild salute. Yeah, Cam's comments. I saw it. I caught a bit of it. Um, yeah, he said something like, yeah, from what I caught was something like, yeah, you take a shot. If you miss a few shots, you feel like every shot has more pressure to go in. Otherwise you're going to get taken out. And then I think it's personal. That's what Cam said as well. He didn't think it was basketball. He said it was something personal. So, yeah, it's crazy, interesting with that. Tibbs obviously has his guys. He's been around a minute. Um, it just wasn't the right fit from the beginning. But yeah, Cam was certainly not handled well. I think as a player, as a tall wing, and a guy that we could have used, defensively. I mean, he may not have been the future for the club, but to go through a stretch of like 15 DNPs where we were badly needing help was definitely mismanaged. Yeah, that's exactly how Obi feels too right now. Yeah, 100%. Um, I really feel like Obi has a lot more to show, but it's all about reps. It's all about the minutes. You don't go from being college player of the year, having a big usage, a bigger role on a college team, to then being basically evaporated into a minute role player with 12 minutes a night. I mean, there's only so much you can do. Yes, his game definitely has warts, and he definitely needs to improve, certainly in defensively, all of that. But you put Toppin on a team like the Rockets, Detroit, the Magic, and give him 35 minutes a night, he's going to give you some crazy stat lines, you know. I mean, that's what Cam's talking about and what Obi's talking about. You know, to grow as a player, you need a situation where, you know, your minutes aren't riding and dying with every shot you put up. You know, it's not the right way. It's not the right way for a young player to play, you know, and develop. You know, you need to play free, but you also need the right situation. I get that. The Knicks are now in a different situation than we were at the beginning. We're now maybe in the fourth seed. We're trying to contend. We're trying to win. And unfortunately, that's a sacrifice you got to make from some of these development players, you know. And the Knicks have so many players that could play and develop. You know, they got Rokas overseas. He could be worthy of NBA minutes. You know, Dwayne Washington's now a two-way player who's shown flashes in the league. He's got talent. Moses Brown, the Knicks just brought in as well, another center. Uh, believe it or not, you know, how the hell is he going to develop? How is he going to get any minutes? You know, I know it's a two-way spot, but it's most likely going to be in the G League, nothing else. Um, yeah, yeah. I feel like Buzzer, this vote, these awards are going to come down to where these guys are going to have an excellent chance. You know, Mitchell Robinson's on and off numbers are crazy. For him to be all defensive, third team, second team, first team, maybe. Let's see. Quickley, I think he's Vegas leading odds now for the six man. And tonight, yeah, he played better, but especially after the Boston game, that went through the roof with Quickley. After the national media saw that performance, man, I think I think if I had to bet on anything, any of these awards, I think Emmanuel Quickley's a lock to get six man now. I think Brunson has a solid chance for MIP, but he's probably going to have to get back on the court soon and remind everybody just how good he is, you know, because remember it's all got to be fresh in the brain for some of these scouts, some of this media. And I think Randall should be all NBA, although recently he's kind of not helping his case, I think. Um, Will says wishing Cam the best, but I don't need to talk on the way out. Accountability is a two-way street. Mm. Yeah, I think it's common for players to have a bit of resentment. You know, he's in a contract year, he's trying to get paid, but it's also the media. You know, Stefan Bondi, the Daily News, trying to get quotes from him because they're doing their job pretty well. You know, they know they're going to get a solid quote out of Cam Reddish, and like I said, when the beat writers are in Portland for that game, look out. There's going to be some more quotes there to come, I think. Um, but either way, with Quickley, right? Um, taking aside his recent play, I think Emmanuel Quickley's shown that he's part of the future now. He's going to get re-signed. The Knicks are not going to be looking to trade Emmanuel Quickley. Um, the only crazy scenario where I see Emmanuel Quickley not get extended or stay with the Knicks is if a crazy superstar deal became available. Superstar deal, like Joel Embiid, for example, somebody like that, Jalen Brown, somebody like that, where the departing team is going to definitely want real compensation. And if that was to happen, then so be it. But at least Quickly's play and values become so good now that would help in that particular trade, you know, where the Knicks would have the right assets to give up. But yeah, that's the only scenario I see with Quick ever not staying as a New York Knick. Um, Now we chopped up some draft talk. We did our first show on the upcoming draft with Raphael Barlow. Check that out. It's got timestamps on the episode. A lot of jewels in that episode. So check that out. But we talked about, will the Knicks trade out of the draft? We have the Dallas pick. We have which is currently sitting in 18 still, as the Mavericks continue to struggle. I think there's a world where that pick could end up 15 to 20, something like there, and some quality wings if the Knicks do make a selection. They've been scouting Rupert in Australia, who's a French prospect and a French wing with defensive potential, 6'6", 7'6" wingspan. He's a raw kind of prospect, but the Knicks might be interested because he's a player that's not going to need minutes yet, and he's a player that they maybe be able to bring along slowly. So that's an interesting thought. Walt Perrin was in Australia scouting him. So that is a situation where there is real eyes on this kid. Walt Perrin did come down to see him play in the NBL finals live. So yeah, I know what Knicks fans be thinking with a French prospect again. With he does share Fournier's agent, so let that sink in. So there's a lot of connections. I think the Knicks will have good intel with him. But yeah, a lot more to talk in terms of the draft coming up. It was good to get Raphael on, talk about it initially, and he's going to come back on after March Madness, and we get closer to the combine and all that stuff. But I think the fortunate situation that the Knicks are in is that we know where our needs are. We can kind of narrow that down now. Those days where it was ESPN, Knicks needs everything, those days are gone, where we can clearly define which kind of position is going to take this team to the next step. You see Paul George on screen there. That's the kind of guy that's going to fit with this team at the wing spot. Someone who's 6'8", 6'9", heck, 6'10", even 6'11". Somebody who can play that wing with extra size and can be a good scorer, can dribble the ball, can play off ball, so Randall and Brunson can go heavy. I think that's the kind of fit we're looking for right now. Now, there's a world where the Knicks trade out of that spot 100%, whether they trade back, maybe they roll the pick forward again, maybe they trade it for OG. I think the Knicks will have so many different options. It's going to be awesome as the Knicks have a lot of different options. Joseph Salute, no Brunson reveals a ton of Tibbs' shortcomings. Leon cannot be this naive not to make a coaching change. Yep, in this off season. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the playoffs. Firstly, but we've heard reporters like Ian Begley and that mention that Leon does have a certain level of loyalty to Tibbs. A possible close to a blind loyalty. So I know that's going to get some people upset, but yeah, it's going to come down to really how we do in the playoffs. I think I can see a world where Tibbs isn't brought back 100%. There are people in the front office that aren't the biggest Tibbs fans, but I think the fact that we've done reasonably well this season with Brunson, close connections to Tibbs, and also Randall's close connections to Tibbs, I could see Tibbs coming back 100%. Manchild says RJ's the player I want to see get traded first, and then Randall. Yeah, I think if I'm just evaluating right of this present day, 100% RJ Barrett is that outgoing player to make that upgrade, because you do got to give the other team something enticing. You do got to give the other team a young player most likely, and I don't see them trading Grimes. I don't see them trading Quickley. It could be Obi and picks. Obi and Deuce, maybe, if they really want to keep RJ. But JJ made the point tonight also to maybe it comes down to the other team isn't interested in RJ or his contract too. So the play got to pick up, definitely. Also, like Chris Murray, great name, ready-made guy that could look like he can step in and help a team out, fam. Chris Murray's, mock drafts are just guesses at this point, but he's projected to be 17, right around where the Knicks pick. From Iowa, 6'8", older guy, 22. He's 22 and 6 months old. But yeah, his averages are nice right now. He's a ready-made prospect, 100%. Joseph says, yeah, Knicks need a better RJ with an actual dribble, handle, fast lateral movement, and can finish. I think just all-around development. And I'm still high that it can happen. It just depends how much patience the organization has, and also how quick RJ can get there. That's the biggest question. And I look no further than Emmanuel Quickley. 12 months ago, people would have thrown Emmanuel Quickley out as a throw-in. He was streaky, inconsistent, combo guard, didn't quite feel like he had a role in this league. And fast forward 12 months, look where Emmanuel Quickley's at. So it's wishful thinking, but I hope RJ Barrett can develop that quick. 12 months is just 12 months. But, a big summer, get with the right training, tighten those handles, pick up defensively, and at least he becomes that third key piece, in terms of being a role guy on this team, but more consistent. I think more consistent. The defense is the biggest thing for me. I mean, a lot of fans can deal with RJ's inconsistencies, but the defense, I think the fact that he's so cumbersome and bulky, he struggles getting around picks. I think the best opportunity for the Knicks to defend with RJ is to switch immediately. I don't think RJ Barrett should be trying to fight over any picks at this point, because he's like I said, he's big to get around these picks. I think he should either go under or they should switch, because yeah, the guy gets a quick step, or his man gets a quick step, and it's tough, man. It really is tough. Yeah, Chris Murray. Okay, Chris Murray's prospects. I think you're talking about Queens. Not a high motor guy. When we think about March Madness hasn't begun, there's so much prospects that are going to come up and down. There's a lot of sleepers. This is a deeper draft. Maybe the Knicks trade out of that Dallas selection for 2 late first rounders even. We know how comfortable we are picking up, these sleepers. And best believe Walt Perrin's doing work. Like, he's flying to Australia. He's flying all over the place firsthand to look at these guys. So our drafting has picked up. If you think about Jericho Sims, you think about Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickley. I don't necessarily think the Toppin pick was a bad pick, because nobody can claim what they know the future would have been if Julius Randle wasn't here. So it looks like a bad pick now, but in terms of the pick talent-wise at number 8, I think it was a good talent pick. Questionable fit, obviously, with Randall here, but I think the Knicks have been picking a lot better than recent years, 100%. Yeah, with 14 games left, we're hanging on to 5th, and trading deadline was over a month and a half ago, and we're talking about Randall and RJ firing the coach. Man, yeah, I just think fans are getting that hunger, that passion to pick things up, right? We can smell it, man. We can smell it. And I think we just want to see success, right? But all eyes on this road to the playoffs, fam. let's get it tomorrow night against the LA Lakers with no King, no LeBron. Brunson's still going to be out. I'll be shocked if he gets in. But the other guy's got to pick it up, man, because we are in 6th now. We've been stuck on 39 wins since Boston. And I really think we can get to 45, 46, 47, 48. But we've got to pick up some of these big, tough games on the road. Lakers, Portland, then back at MSG. Hopefully Brunson's back. And a couple of critical, huge clutch games against the Heat. Right, arch rivals. Let's get it. Tomorrow we'll be live again post-game, CT and EJ. It's been good to chop this thing up. Frustrating loss tonight. But yeah, the season's not over by any stretch. Right, the real test is still yet to come. Hopefully Brunson gets back soon. And we've got to pick this thing up. Salute, mate. And chat, Knicks streets, buzzing. No matter what, we're on the right track. Right, we've got ourselves our point guard of the future. Right, inefficiency's got to be cleaned up. But let's see, Quickley step up, Grimes step up, RJ step up, and we might be able to win tomorrow. Right, Julius Randle's due for a huge performance. You know, he's due to go on a big streak. So yeah, let's get it. Salute, peace.